She couldn't fit with the rotations of the team. She's upset that Lexi Hall took her spot. That's the truth. Little blonde girl from next door took her spot. That's what it was. Well, Lexi Hall is a good basketball player. I think she earned that spot, in my opinion, and she's shooting very well from three. She's an excellent three-point shooter this season. She's a sniper this season. And she hustles. She gets rebounds. She gets steals. She puts her heart out every single game.
Well, I don't want to come off the bench is not a personal issue. Well, I don't like my role.
DeWanna Bonner, don't let the door hit you where the good Lord split ya. See ya, wouldn't want to be ya.
So the truth is, DeWanna Bonner was butthurt. That's what it comes down to. She was butthurt. Her ego was bruised, and she wanted to cry and leave. This is a shame. See, if you're truly a team player, you accept that Lexi Hull's better than you. You accept being a role player and contribute of the way you can. And why do you even care at this point? You're 37 years old. You're making a lot of money for a WNBA player. Why not just ride it out? I don't understand that. You know what it was? She missed her boo thing in Phoenix, and she just want to wiggle her way out so she can go to Phoenix. That's all it was.
Wade veteran DeWanna Bonner, the team announced. Indiana looked at trade possibilities for the six-time All-Star, who had not played since June 10th, for what the team called, quote, personal reasons. Well, the personal reasons were, from what I could tell, playing time is what I knew.
DeWanna Bonner out with the old. Ari McDonald, welcome back in with the new. Breaking. The Fever are waving. DeWanna Bonner, league sources told the Indy Star, then re-signing Ari McDonald. Bonner requested a trade after feeling she couldn't find a role on the team after getting benched, along with a bevy of other reasons as we covered yesterday. But Indiana could not find a suitable trade option.
Her minutes had significantly dropped from last year. Well, in turn, if her minutes drop, a lot of her production numbers that she can see and the rest of the league can see also dropped with it. Look, she's just like Natasha Howard. She looks old on the court. All right, I'm not trying to be this is not ageism. She looks like an older athlete. All right, she looks slower on the court, and the team has been lacking energy. It's been a serious problem. Seriously, long overdue. Let her go to the place where she feels she would be the best.
Now, let's examine where our disgraced former Fever player is reportedly trying to force her way to, because the preferred destinations tell you everything you need to know about her character, or perhaps lack thereof. She's rumored to be trying to force a move to the Phoenix Mercury, the team where she spent the first decade of her career. Basically, running back to her old comfort zone where she can hopefully hide from the intense pressure of actually mattering on a national stage. Or she could potentially be going to the Atlanta Dream, a team that features Brittany Griner, who famously, and some say classlessly, doesn't seem to like Caitlin Clark very much. Yes, we all saw that viral moment where Griner allegedly used a slur towards Clark after fouling out. These are the kind of players Dana Bonner apparently wants to surround herself with now. Players who have made it abundantly clear they resent everything Caitlin Clark represents. She's literally choosing to align herself with some of the most toxic anti-Clark elements within the WNBA rather than being part of something positive, something transformative, something historic in Indiana.
Bonner, don't let the door hit you where the good Lord split ya. See ya, wouldn't want to be ya, right? I'm not telling you gotta go home, but you gotta get up out of here. DeWanna Bonner out with the old. Ari McDonald, welcome back in with the new. Breaking. The Fever are waving. DeWanna Bonner, league sources told the Indy Star, then re-signing Ari McDonald. Bonner requested a trade after feeling she couldn't find a role on the team after getting benched, along with a bevy of other reasons as we covered yesterday. But Indiana could not find a suitable trade option. My first reaction.
But let's talk about the real, unspoken villain in this particular drama. The palpable pressure from the so-called old guard of the WNBA. This is a league where, for years, many veteran players have been comfortably coasting, secure in their roles, content with playing in half-empty arenas for audiences that often consisted mainly of loyal family members and a handful of die-hard local fans. Then along comes Caitlin Clark, a human supernova, filling every arena to the rafters, breaking television records daily, and suddenly everyone wants to know what the WNBA is all about. Instead of universally embracing this incredible, league-altering opportunity, some of these bitter, threatened veterans saw it as an existential threat to their comfortable, low-pressure little world. They couldn't stand that someone so young, so undeniably talented, and so incredibly marketable was making their entire league relevant, truly relevant, for perhaps the first time in decades. They couldn't handle the fact that their years of paying dues suddenly meant very little when a rookie could walk in and immediately become the most important, most talked about player in the entire sport. So, what did some of them do? They did what bitter, insecure people often do. They tried to tear down the person who was inadvertently making them look increasingly irrelevant. And Dana Bonner, who should have been a veteran bridge between the old and new eras of the WNBA, instead allegedly chose to side with the haters. She acted, as one commentator put it, like a baby, after she realized she might not start as much for the Indiana Fever, throwing a prolonged tantrum that lasted for weeks and ultimately culminated in her abandoning her team, her teammates, and her responsibilities entirely. This is a 37-year-old woman behaving like a petulant teenager who didn't make the varsity squad.
Get here. Long story short, DB thought her role was going to be one thing. She came in playing terrible, got benched, and was upset about it. Long story short, Shorty got her record and dipped. That's low-key crazy, y'all. Shorty dipped from the team for personal reasons for 5-6 games and then said she has no intentions on coming back? Because you sucked this year? She really had to be a double agent, dog. There's no way. She a career 29% three-point shooter, but she was shooting 30-footers with us. No bullshit. Like, it's no way. She was missing layups. She was getting blown by, like...
This isn't just about on-court basketball ability or lack thereof in Bonner's recent performances. This is about character. And Dana Bonner's character in this situation was exposed as paper thin the very moment she faced real, tangible adversity. She signed up, presumably, to be a veteran leader for a young, up-and-coming team. But the moment that team started getting the kind of intense, global attention and relentless pressure that naturally comes with having a generational superstar like Caitlin Clark on the roster, she folded like a cheap, poorly constructed suit in a hurricane. She reportedly couldn't handle being on such a viral team, a team that understandably and rightly loves Caitlin Clark. Because deep down, it seems, Dana Bonner desperately wanted to be the star herself, or at least not be so thoroughly overshadowed. The jealousy, for many observers, is so painfully obvious it's almost embarrassing to watch. Here's a player who spent the majority of her career in relative WNBA obscurity, winning championships, yes, but with teams that, frankly, nobody outside of their immediate fan bases particularly cared about. And suddenly, she's thrust into the brightest, most intense spotlight in the history of women's basketball. And instead of embracing the unprecedented opportunity to be part of something truly special, something transformative, she resented it. She resented that the 17,274 fans packing the arena weren't primarily there to see her. They were there to witness Caitlin Clark. She resented that every single game was a sold-out spectacle, not because of her diminishing veteran presence, but because of a 22-year-old rookie who had already accomplished more for the visibility and growth of women's basketball in a few short months than Bonner had in her entire career.
DeWanna Bonner signs a free agent contract with the Indiana Fever. And after a handful of games, wants a Fever exit, apparently. And that is a strange situation, right? Because she was embraced. She had her achievement at the beginning of the season, moving up the scoring ranks. They were referring to her as Mama Bear in training camp, and now all of a sudden that has fallen apart. She was out of the starting lineup, hadn't really produced that much, particularly on the offensive end. And this, looks poor on the franchise when it comes to the free agent moves in retrospect, the team that they put together in the offseason. I don't think it reflects well on DeWanna Bonner, whose absence was for quote unquote personal reasons, but now it seems like she was just upset with the team and the situation overall, and it adds more drama to what has been a drama-filled season for Caitlin Clark in the Indiana.
But here's where this story transitions from typical sports drama to something truly pathetic. Bonner didn't just quietly ask for a trade and continue to support her team while the front office explored options. Oh no, she completely, utterly abandoned her team. She stopped showing up to games, citing vague personal reasons, and left her teammates, including the young superstar Caitlin Clark, hanging for 5 straight crucial games, while she apparently pouted about her reduced role. Personal reasons? The only personal reason here, critics are screaming, is that her delicate feelings got catastrophically hurt because she finally realized she might not be good enough to start on a legitimate championship contender anymore. As the saying goes, Bonner, don't let the door hit you where the good Lord split you. See ya, wouldn't want to be ya. Or rather, as the Fever organization essentially said, we're not telling you you gotta go home, but you gotta get up out of here.
Anybody with any intuition could sort of see that this was getting odd. The amount of time that she had missed with no explanation as to why, no timeline on her return, not making the road trip, all of these things, the lack of information and the basic mystery would be enough to get anybody's spidey sense tingling about this situation. But on top of that, I'll tell you this much. I heard that it was more basketball related than anything else over the weekend.
So, what did head coach Stephanie White do when faced with an underperforming, highly paid veteran? She made the obvious, logical, and completely competent coaching decision. She benched Bonner in favor of Lexi Hull. Lexi Hull, a player who actually wanted to be on the court, a player who hustles, a player who contributes to winning basketball. Hull, a sniper from 3-point range this season, has been putting her heart out every single game, grabbing rebounds, getting steals, and playing with an infectious energy. She earned that spot. And how did our supposed veteran leader, Dana Bonner, respond to this completely reasonable coaching decision? This challenge to her status. Like a spoiled child who just had her favorite, slightly broken toy taken away. Instead of accepting the challenge, working harder in practice, and proving she deserved her starting spot back, Bonner decided to take her ball and go home. She reportedly requested a trade, cryptically citing that the fit did not work out, which is, as we all know, professional basketball code for I can't handle not being the undisputed center of attention, and my feelings are hurt.
And there's been so much speculation around her absence, but the whole thing was just kind of bizarre, and a lot of Fever fans were speculating that we're not going to see her back. And just today, it was announced that she has no intentions on returning to the Indiana Fever, and her preferred destinations are either Atlanta or the Phoenix Mercury. It's also been reported that the main reason that she wanted to leave is because things felt off from the beginning, and she thought that she would be a starter. But if you guys remember, DB was starting in the beginning of the season, and she honestly just wasn't playing her best. So Lexi Hull moved into that starting position.
The writing, for anyone paying attention, was on the wall from day one. But Bonner, perhaps blinded by her own ego or a profound misunderstanding of the new reality, apparently couldn't read it. She started the first 3 games of the season, averaging a truly whopping 2.6 points while shooting an almost impressively embarrassing 2 of 12 from the field. 2, outside, office 12. That's not veteran leadership, folks. That's veteran regression. A statistical cry for help. Her minutes had understandably and significantly dropped from her previous year's averages. And when your minutes drop, well, surprise. Surprise. So does your production, the very numbers the rest of the league and potential future employers are watching. She looked, as one blunt commentator put it, old on the court, slower. And the team, when she was a primary fixture, was often lacking energy. This was a serious problem, and the move to fix it was, for many, seriously overdue.
DeWanna Bonner knew damn well she didn't want to come to Indiana. She knew she didn't want to be there. She knew she didn't want to be there. I think the fix was in. The Phoenix Mercury didn't have the bread to pay her. She said, I'm going to get the bag elsewhere, and then I'm going to force my way out to where within the first half of the season before All-Star, Alyssa Thomas, I'm going to be on your team. I think the fix has been in. I think the Phoenix Mercury knew this was going to happen. I think they knew this was going to happen. I think she played bad on purpose. She plummeted her stock to the point where it's not like we could trade her. It's official. It is official, y'all.
Aerie McDonald back. That's good business. Glad she's back. I knew she was waiting after all those hardship contracts were being signed by different players on different teams. I was like, man, look, Aerie not on a team yet. She's coming back.
When Dana Bonner signed her free agent contract with the Indiana Fever back in February, she probably envisioned a smooth, prestigious final chapter to her career. She thought she was joining a nice, quiet, rebuilding franchise where she could effortlessly slide into a prominent starting role, maybe mentor some young players, and comfortably coast through another WNBA season. What she found instead was a team completely transformed, almost overnight, by the arrival of a singular supernova talent named Caitlin Clark. Suddenly, this wasn't a quiet outpost. It was the absolute epicenter of the basketball universe. The most watched, most scrutinized, and most intensely competitive environment in the entire WNBA. Bonner, once hailed in training camp as a mama bear figure, quickly found that the den had gotten a whole lot hotter, and the Cubs weren't looking to her for guidance. They were looking at Clark.
Anyway, it was pretty evident that Bonner did not want to be a part of this team. The fans seemed to take her in, but that wasn't enough. The fact Bonner had zero trade value is telling too. Aerie McDonald was so impressive in her first stint in Indiana. She'll be a great fit. Now, I do feel like maybe they couldn't find a way to trade Bonner. Like I stated, the two teams she wanted to go to, I didn't see any use for her being there, man. Like, I'm not being disrespectful. There was just no use for her there. And she still wasn't going to start. So, I don't know, man.
So DeWanna Bonner pulls one of the weakest moves in sports history and quits on the Indiana Fever not even halfway through this season, man. Your ass couldn't hit the fucking side of a barn and was stinking it up every game, and you're mad about a starting spot or some bullshit? Completely lost all respect for your punk ass, man. And now your preferred destination is the Phoenix Mercury and the Dream. Oh, what? So you can go back with Alyssa Thomas and Scissor? What the fuck kind of bullshit is this? And then all the people that hate Caitlin Clark so much, the Black Clan and Black Clan Panders, are sitting here supporting this weak ass move. Y'all call yourselves real so much and all this bullshit, and you're defending a player quitting.
All right, folks, gather round, because the WNBA just witnessed one of the most selfish, childish, and frankly, unprofessional displays of diva behavior we've seen in years. And the star of this particular meltdown? None other than Dana Bonner, the so-called veteran presence who was supposed to guide the Indiana Fever to new heights. Instead, she has officially packed her bags, tucked her tail between her legs, and run home crying because apparently she couldn't handle being on a team that actually matters. That's right, DeWanna Bonner, or as some are now calling her, DeWanna Goner, has been waived by the Fever. This isn't just a roster move. It's the story of a player who thought she was walking into a comfortable, cushy retirement home where she could collect easy paychecks while basking in the warm glow of someone else's spotlight, only to discover that real basketball, championship contending basketball, requires you to actually fight for your damn position. Ouch, Bonner. Out with the old, and as the Fever quickly announced, welcome back Aerie McDonald, in with the new.